What is up, AG Nation? I'm Ben and welcome to my top 10 gacha games out in 2022. And while I have you here, please do subscribe. I know that most of you who are watching my videos are not subscribed yet, and I would definitely appreciate it if you did. And if you do, you get your comments on screen like right now. This ranking here is in no particular order, and check out the links below if you want to cast your vote for the next and final gacha top list video of the year. Now, let's jump right in. Number 10. ARTERY Gear Fusion. If you're looking for a thought-provoking story in your gacha, ARTERY Gear Fusion has that in store and then some. You will take on the shoes of a commander and lead your own mecha girl army of female warriors equipped with cybernetic armor, aka ARTERY gear. The story in Fusion is about humankind's resilience during the chaotic puppet war, and the gameplay is turn-based RPG with some stunning character art. The game stands out for the number of quality of life features it brings to the table. For example, lots of ways to customize your squad, summary and rewatch feature if you skip the narrative scenes, super generous summoning rates, and you can earn a lot of premium currency just by doing battles and dailies. The energy system is not restrictive, I mean you get the picture. AG Fusion is very F2P friendly and checks a lot of right boxes for me. Try it out. Number 9. Tower of Fantasy. The first thing that comes to mind when the name of Tower Fantasy is thrown around is either Genshin clone or Genshin killer. But what it actually is an open world MMO with a busy world, top class graphics, a unique combat system and more. Yes, it does borrow some inspiration from Hoyo vs Genshin Impact, but Tower of Fantasy is so much more than simply a Genshin clone, just as Genshin is to Breath of the Wild. The game is set in an engaging, futuristic post-apocalyptic world where life revolves around robots, drones, jetpacks and monsters, to name a few. The gameplay is smooth and polished, and there's a good variety of modes to keep you busy for a while. The jetpack and vehicles makes exploring a breeze, and the combat feels great. We're talking snappy combos, a targeting system that's on point, and powerful moves with explosive flashy effects. Tower of Fantasy is well-rounded along with a balance between solo and multiplayer gameplay, making it a pretty easy recommendation. But is it better than Genshin Impact? At the time of the making of this video, no. The game still has some technical issues to fix and more to expand on, but it definitely has potential. Number 8. Ni no Kuni Cross World. As some of you know, big fan of Studio Ghibli here, so it was a no-brainer that I got sucked into Ni no Kuni Cross World and its stunning art style and animation, really showcasing Studio Ghibli's mastery in creating lifelike character shows regardless of the platform. You meet a new cast of characters across many lands and kingdoms. There are 5 playable characters, a beautiful open world rendered in the Unreal Engine 4, a great soundtrack and adorable familiars that are as charming as they are useful in battle. For those unfamiliar, familiars work kinda like Pokemon. The battles are in real time and action-packed. There are mounts to ride across this beautiful world, and when you need a break from all the action, you can even build your own farm. Ni no Kuni Cross World also features a rich storyline and is hands down one of the most beautifully animated gacha MMO you can play on mobile today. Number 7. Eternal Evolution. At first, Eternal Evolution feels like the same gacha we've played over and over on mobile, but as I played through the first hour, the second, and so on, I gotta say that I was pleasantly surprised. The game has a World of Warcraft vibes, a pretty decent art style, very generous pulls and in-game currency, and it respects your time as a player, so no infinite waiting times or solution selling. There's also a steady sense of progress and just plenty of events being constantly added, most of them not requiring any pay to win. So while I'm still relatively early in it, Eternal Evolution seems to be on the right track and is worth checking out. Number 6. Time Defenders. Time Defenders is a tower defense gacha that will put a smile on the face of most fans of Arknights. The game mixes traditional team-based party gameplay with tower defense mechanics, resulting in a fun, tactical-inspired JRPG setting. Time Defender's story takes place in Tokyo following a space-time rift disaster, and it's up to you to save the world. You also get to enjoy some stunning anime graphics, an awesome soundtrack along with some pretty good voice acting. In the gacha department, there are over 70 characters to pick from, and the only thing I can say that is holding this game back is its complex gameplay. It will alienate casual gamers and may even overwhelm the hardcore fanbase. The devs are aware of this though, so if you get stuck on a stage, you can watch replays of other players who beat it. So to sum up, if you're a fan of tower defense gacha and have the patience to learn the deep gameplay mechanics here, you're gonna love this one. Number 5. Summoner's War Chronicles. Summoner's War Chronicles is the third game in a saga that holds a special place for me, as it was my first gameplay series I made on YouTube 8 years ago, and holy guacamole, time flies. Story-wise, Chronicles takes place before the end of Sky Arena and Lost Centuria, and while being an MMORPG, there is a deep single-player experience here along with the multiplayer modes. Chronicles features 5 different open-world regions, each with its own style. You'll be completing main and side quests in each of them as you go while fighting and collecting a roster of monsters, Pokemon style, which is where the gacha element comes in. You can also team up with your friends in co-op quests or take on other players in the PvP arenas. Summoner's War Chronicles is out on Android, iOS and PC with an Xbox Series X and S coming out in 2023, so you can play with your friends regardless of their platform of choice. Number 4. Goddess of Victory NIKKE. I think it is safe to say that the release of Goddess of Victory NIKKE matched the hype and anticipation, something that is becoming more and more rare with mobile games. NIKKE breaks the mold by combining two genres, shooters and gacha RPGs, delivering an awesome experience where you can form squads of powerful synthetic entities, aka NIKKEs, and shoot your way through wave after wave of enemies as you clear the levels. The graphics are gorgeous, the combat is fast-paced, and the variety of game modes available keep things fun and fresh. I won't go into the story so that I don't spoil anything, but what I can say is that it's highly engaging, and combined with the intuitive one-hand controls and everything else I mentioned makes NIKKE a cool and innovative gacha RPG. In short, you can't go wrong with this one. Number 3. Alice Fiction. The latest puzzle JRPG by Wonder Planet is Alice Fiction, and it features a deep and highly engaging story where VR life is a new standard, but AI takes over and things go sour. You have a huge cast of characters ready to help you in battle. They are inspired from a wide variety of cultures such as Lancelot, the knight from King Arthur, or the legendary Japanese sword fighter Musashi Miyamoto. The battle in Alice Fiction reminds me a lot of the combat mechanics in Octopath Traveler. With your team of 4, you need to break as many panels as possible to deal damage, but whether to go for the quick damage or sacrifice a turn or two to set up a bigger attack later, the choice is yours. The basics are very accessible, but with a more in-depth tactical gameplay. Add to this some gripping battle graphics and special skills cinematics, a pretty good voice acting cast, and one of the best soundtracks in all gacha combined, making Alice Fiction a must-play for all puzzle JRPG fans. Number 2. Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent. Champions of the Continent is the second game in the Octopath series, but it's actually a prequel, so you will enter the world of Ostera a few years prior to the events of the original game. You take on the role of the Chosen One and fight your way through ruthless tyrants who have nothing better to do than unleashing darkness onto the world. The game sports a massive roster of over 64 playable characters with tons of mix and match teams, and you will actually need to do so as a ton of battles are unique and custom team for each fight is the way to go. The gameplay is similar in many ways to Another Eden, which is one of my favorite mobile JRPGs of all time. There are also plenty of NPCs that have side quests for rewards or items for sale, and some can be hired for combat through different ways. The combat is turn-based with the ability to stock on special attacks that get more powerful the longer you hold on to them. And the visuals are a love letter to the retro pixel art era with gorgeous sprites and backgrounds. The music is excellent and overall very free-to-play friendly. Highly recommend this one. Number 1. Counterside. Counterside is absolutely gorgeous, and I like the watercolor-esque anime art style a lot. And this being an action RPG, the combat is flashy, fast-paced, and very much engaging if that is your thing. Also gotta talk about the story. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting, which seems to be the trend in recent gacha games. You take on the role of the CEO of a world defense corporation. Needless to say, this corp is also home to all the cool and hot waifus that will help you take down monsters and bosses and find out what caused the apocalypse in the first place. Counterside features a good mix of futuristic and fantasy settings and is an amazing side-scrolling tactical RPG with fun gameplay, stylish skins, and most important of all, it's one of the most friendly F2P games in this list. And that sums up my picks for the best gacha games on mobile out in 2022, but now I wanna hear from you down in the comments. What is your pick for the top gacha of 2022? Of course, as always, if you enjoyed this video, clicking the like button does help me out a lot and I would really appreciate that, and if you're new, consider subscribing because I put out new videos like this every week. Also, a special thanks to my YouTube members, and if you want to support my content as well as get some cool rewards, links are down in the description. You can also show some love to this video with a super thanks. Once again, I'm Ben, thank you AG Nation for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here on Android GameSpot. Stay epic!